Chapter 1. The Alpha's Goodbye. The moon was heavy that night. It clung to the sky like a silent witness, full and blood-tinged, casting the forest in a surreal glow. I stood at the edge of the clearing, just beyond the reach of the firelight that surrounded the pack-house. My heart was thudding in my chest, each beat echoing like a war drum. Beneath the folds of my dark cloak, my hands trembled, not from the cold, but from the hurricane of emotions tearing through me. I had always imagined the rejection would be loud, violent, maybe even public. I had thought that something as sacred as a mate bond could not be severed quietly, as if it were no more than a forgotten promise. But Rowan had proven me wrong. He'd broken our bond with 6 words and no emotion. I choose power over bond, Serena. He hadn't even looked at me. Not when I cried. Not when I whispered his name like a prayer. Not even when I sank to my knees, the bond unraveling inside me like a thread pulled from the fabric of my soul. "You're not enough," he had added. That was the last time I'd seen his face up close, the strong line of his jaw, the eyes that once looked at me with wonder, now colder than the winter wind sweeping through the trees. I should have hated him. But I didn't. Not yet. I had stood there for what felt like hours after he left me, my knees digging into the frozen earth. My wolf, Celine, had gone eerily quiet, and I knew she was mourning too. Mate bonds weren't just physical, they were spiritual. To be rejected by your fated was to lose a part of your soul. And he did it like it meant nothing. Now, here I was again, 2 weeks later. I was standing in the shadow of the ceremony hall where his mating celebration was being held. The whole pack was gathered in joy. Except me. Except the woman carrying his child. My hand fell protectively over the slight curve of my belly beneath the thick folds of my cloak. The baby wasn't obvious yet, but I could feel it. A small heartbeat, a flicker of life that reminded me I wasn't truly alone. He didn't know. He never asked. He never cared. But he would. One day. Laughter echoed from the hall, warm, musical, full of celebration. I hated how beautiful it sounded. Rowan's deep voice rolled above the noise, clear and authoritative, as he thanked the elders and spoke about honor and unity. Honor. My jaw clenched. Suddenly, a warm hand closed around my arm. "Serena!" I gasped and turned, ready to defend myself, but it was only Malia, my best friend, or what remained of her. Her face was pale. Her eyes rimmed in red. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered, glancing over her shoulder nervously. "If the Alpha sees—" "I wanted to see for myself," I said flatly, pulling my arm free. "I wanted to see what I was thrown away for." "Rowan didn't throw you away. He was pressured. His father—" "I don't want excuses, Malia." My voice cracked, but I stood tall. "He chose her. Over me. Over our bond. Over our child." She flinched. "You haven't told him?" I shook my head slowly. "Why should I? So he can try to take the baby away from me? So he can pretend to care? He's not a monster." "No," I said. "He's worse. He's a coward." Malia didn't follow me as I walked away. I cut through the trees, letting the cold bite at my skin until my legs ached. I didn't stop until the sounds of celebration were far behind me. I reached the lake, our lake, the one Rowan and I used to sneak off to before dawn. It was still as glass under the moonlight, a reflection of the sky above. I sat there and remembered. How he used to whisper stories of our future. How he used to trace constellations on my skin with his fingers. How he swore the moon goddess had given me to him for a reason. Lies. All of them. Serena. My head whipped around. And there he was. Rowan stood on the other side of the clearing, still in his ceremonial tunic, the gold threading glinting under the moonlight. His hair was damp, his eyes darker than I remembered. But unmistakably him. My heart leapt against my will. "What are you doing here?" I said, coldly. He took a step forward. "I saw you." "Congratulations on your mating ceremony," I said with venom. The pack looked happy. She looked radiant. His jaw tightened. "You shouldn't have come." "Why?" "Afraid I'd ruin your perfect lie." "I didn't lie to you." "You told me I wasn't enough. I hissed, standing. That's the only truth I need. Rowan's hands clenched into fists. You don't understand. You don't get to tell me what I understand, I snapped. You made your choice. You left me. You rejected me. And I survived. A silence fell between us, thick with tension. Serena, his voice broke. You think I wanted to hurt you? I don't care what you wanted. I turned away. Go back to your mate, Alpha. He stepped closer. I didn't mark her. That made me pause. What? Rowan's voice was low. I couldn't do it. I couldn't complete the bond. No matter how much my father pushed me. I couldn't. Because when I closed my eyes, it was still you. My breath hitched. But I didn't turn around. You made your decision, I said. And I made mine. And then, quietly, as I walked away, you'll never see our child. His sharp intake of breath was the only sound behind me. Then I vanished into the night, the last pieces of my heart buried beneath the snow. Chapter 2. Ashes of a Bond. The snow fell heavier by morning. Thick, white sheets blanketed the forest, muffling the world into eerie silence. I had wandered far beyond the usual trails, into the old territory where the Moonstone ruins lay. No one came here anymore. Not since the war. The ruins had been a temple once, a place where fated pairs pledged themselves before the moon goddess. Now, vines choked its crumbling arches, and shattered stones bore the scars of battle. Yet it felt oddly right to hide here. I was done running. I was done crying. I was done being the girl left behind. I pressed my palm against my belly as a flicker of movement stirred inside me. It wasn't much, just a ripple, but it reminded me that something within me still lived, still fought. My child. Rowan's child. A future he had tossed away like an afterthought. The betrayal burned more deeply because it hadn't just been about power. Rowan had known what that position meant. Mates were sacred. Sacred. Yet, he chose to reject his own. And for what? Because I wasn't enough, I whispered bitterly. My voice carried on the wind, hollow and mocking. Then a scent hit me, faint, but unmistakable. Wolf. Someone was here. I ducked low behind one of the shattered columns, my senses flaring. Whoever it was moved with caution. A skilled tracker, no doubt. My wolf, Celine, stirred uneasily. He's following us. I didn't need her to say his name. I knew. Rowan. Serena, his voice called out, not commanding, not angry, but pleading. I just want to talk. I didn't move. I know you're here. Your scent. It's everywhere. He stepped into the heart of the ruin. Snow dusted his shoulders. His hair was tousled, darker than I remembered under the gray light. His eyes scanned the surroundings. Please, he said softly, almost brokenly. I made a mistake. I stood then. No. You made a choice. His head snapped toward my voice. When he saw me, something in him faltered, like the mask he always wore slipped. You're angry. No, I said. I'm past anger. You don't get to see me mad. You don't get to see me at all. I didn't know you were pregnant. And whose fault is that? He flinched. I stepped closer, arms wrapped tightly around myself. Do you think I wanted this? To raise a child in exile? Alone? No, he whispered. But you weren't alone. You had Malia. Malia knew. She tried to warn me. But I didn't listen because I loved you. Rowan's face twisted in pain. I never stopped loving you, Serena. Don't, I spat. Don't say that to me. You left me in pieces. You shattered everything. And now you want to fix it because I'm carrying your heir. His voice dropped. It's not about an heir. I looked at him long and hard. Then what is it about? I still dream about you. I paused. I see you every night. That moment I walked away, it replays. Over and over. There was honesty in his voice. Pain. But it wasn't enough. Not after what he did. Too late, I whispered. He took a step closer, but I raised a hand. I'm not coming back. And you're not getting this child. Rowan's face darkened, not with anger, but something deeper, grief. Then let me protect you both. Let me try, Serena. Please. Silence stretched between us. The wind howled around the ruins. Somewhere above us, a raven cried. You lost the right to try, I said. I turned and walked into the snow, leaving him standing amidst the ruins of what we once were. But fate, I knew, wasn't finished with us yet. Chapter 3. The Rogue's Warning. The path to the outer territories was a treacherous one, and under the weight of the storm building in the sky, it felt like the world itself wanted to bury me. I pressed forward through the snow, branches clawing at my cloak, every step heavier than the last. My mind was a tempest, Rowan's words echoing louder than the wind. Let me protect you both. He didn't deserve to protect me. Not anymore. But the way he said it, with desperation, not command. As if he truly meant it. I shook the thought away. I had more important things to worry about. I was headed to the rogue village hidden deep in the withered pines, a dangerous place, even for someone like me. But I had an ally there. Someone who owed me. His name was Kale. A rogue who'd once been Alpha-born, until he was betrayed by his pack and cast out. I'd saved him years ago when my patrol found him bleeding and delirious beyond the northern ridge. I convinced Rowan, gods, even then, to let him live. Now I needed a favor. A place to disappear. A safe haven for my child. When I finally broke through the forest line, the rogue encampment loomed before me, wooden watchtowers, fire pits, and stone houses patched with salvage. It wasn't pretty, but it was real. And more than anything, it was free. I was stopped at the edge by two guards, both shifted halfway, their eyes glowing faint yellow. They growled low until I pulled back my hood. I'm here for Kale, I said. Their growls cut short. One of them narrowed his eyes. You're Serena. I am. He disappeared without another word. Minutes later, Kale emerged from one of the stone huts. He looked older than I remembered, shaggy black hair, a new scar running along his cheek, but the grin that stretched across his face when he saw me was the same. Well, well, he said. The she-wolf returns. I need sanctuary. He raised an eyebrow. No small talk. Not today. He scanned my face, then his gaze dropped to my midsection. Oh, he said softly. Ah, so that's what this is. I nodded. Kale gestured me forward. Come inside before you freeze to death. His quarters were warm, the fire crackling strong in the hearth. I sank into a seat near the flames, stripping off my soaked cloak. Kale poured 2 mugs of something hot and dark before settling across from me. I heard rumors, he said, that you'd vanished after the ceremony. That Rowan took another. He did. And now he wants you back. Now he knows about the baby. Kale winced. That explains the storm scent all over you. His wolf's trying to reclaim the bond. There is no bond. He nodded slowly, watching me with unreadable eyes. You know he'll never stop. You're carrying his air. His instincts won't let him forget. Then I need to disappear, I said. And you're going to help me. Kale leaned back, sipping his drink. You saved my life once, Serena. I won't forget that. But hiding you won't be easy. Especially not when Rowan's already marked the territory north and east. I'll go west, beyond the river. He blinked. You'll die out there. That land's cursed. I'd rather die free than live under his control. Kale sighed. You always were the defiant one. Then, his expression changed, sharp, wary. There's something else, he said. A rogue came in last week. Said she was chased by a she-wolf with golden eyes. Said she saw her kill a patrol near the boundary of Rowan's packlands. My blood went cold. Golden eyes. He nodded. She was asking about you. Describe her. Beautiful. Deadly. Hair like ash. Malia. But why? What did she want? I asked. Kale looked at me grimly. To know where you were headed. To know if you were carrying a child. My heart dropped. She's not who you think she is, Kale said quietly. Be careful, Serena. Not every betrayal comes from enemies. That night, As I lay wrapped in furs by the hearth, I stared at the flickering flames and ran my hand over my stomach. I had escaped one danger only to fall into another. If Malia had truly come this far, if she knew, then Rowan wasn't the only one I had to run from. This time, I wouldn't just survive. I would strike first. Because now, it wasn't just about me. It was about my child. And no one, no friend, no alpha, no traitor, would take them from me. Not again.